Wemby and the Spurs knocked off the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder to capture the 2026 Western Conference Championship. And yeah, it might sound like a huge statement about OKC, but beyond everything that's already been discussed throughout this series about the Thunder's flopping and overly physical play, anyone who followed along saw more controversy pop up in Game 7. Let's get into the long list of examples. In these first two clips, SGA goes back to some of his familiar foul-drawing moves, but this time he doesn't get the whistle. Thankfully, the officials weren't rewarding every bit of contact in a winner-take-all game. For the most part, things actually went the Spurs' way on Saturday night. Then Jared McCain sent Devin Vassell crashing to the floor. While an offensive foul was called, many fans felt the play deserved a closer look because of how dangerous it appeared. Not long after that, Alex Caruso collided hard with Stephon Castle and brought him down, yet the play was only ruled a common foul. The physical moments just kept stacking up. Luguentz Dort came flying in and made contact with Wemby, creating an awkward sequence that had fans holding their breath. Then SGA caught Stephon Castle in the face with an elbow before drawing a foul on the next action, adding even more frustration to an already heated game. A little later, SGA created separation from Carter Bryant on a play that had plenty of people talking, sending the rookie stumbling backward. As the game wound down, he also drew attention with another aggressive move toward Devin Vassell that sparked debate about whether the call should have gone the other way. Meanwhile, Caruso appeared to exaggerate contact around Dylan Harper, adding to the growing conversation about foul selling throughout the night. Seeing all of these moments packed into one game was wild, but longtime viewers know this wasn't just a one-game thing. Similar sequences and controversial plays seemed to show up throughout the entire series, keeping tensions high from start to finish. In the end, though, the Spurs got the result they wanted. Shout out to Wemby for leading the charge, and shout out to Sixth Man of the Year Keldon Johnson for stepping up with huge fourth-quarter buckets when his team needed them most. Dylan Harper also delivered major contributions off the bench, while Julian Champagnie poured in 20 points, second on the team behind Wemby. The Spurs' depth, toughness, and ability to stay fresh ultimately carried them through, especially after OKC's bench looked like a major advantage earlier in the series. Shout out to Coach Mitch Johnson for making the most of his roster and putting together a smart game plan on one of the biggest nights of the season. The Spurs did a great job limiting SGA's impact, and they also made life extremely difficult for Chet Holmgren. A lot of that credit belongs to Wemby, who completely controlled the matchup whenever the two stars were on the floor together. At this point, Wemby has consistently had the upper hand in these head-to-head battles. Chet attempted only 2 shots in all of Game 7 and didn't take a single shot during the second half. Considering his massive 5-year, $240 million extension begins next season, that performance is going to draw plenty of attention. Meanwhile, Wemby's incredible length, smooth movement, and rare athleticism were on full display once again as he threw down another huge highlight over Chet that had fans buzzing. The Spurs' supporting cast also came through in a major way when it mattered most. Julian Champagnie joined Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry as one of only 3 players to hit more than 5 three-pointers in a conference finals Game 7. That's ice cold from Julian on a stage this big. San Antonio's balanced attack was one of the biggest reasons they came out on top. 7 different Spurs players scored at least 11 points, including Champagnie, Wemby, Vassell, Castle, Keldon Johnson, DeJounte Fox, and Dylan Harper. That kind of production across the roster gave Coach Mitch Johnson contributions from everywhere and kept the pressure on OKC all night long. Then there was Luke Kornet's incredible chase-down block during the non-Wemby minutes while Victor was dealing with foul trouble. The play instantly brought the crowd to life and completely shifted the momentum late in the game. From that moment forward, the Thunder found themselves facing an even steeper climb. More broadly, basketball fans have spent years debating what should be rewarded on the court. Many people prefer to see games decided by shot-making, execution, footwork, defense, and toughness, rather than constant attempts to draw whistles. That's one reason this Western Conference Finals resonated with so many viewers. The Spurs didn't just win the series, they stayed composed through every challenge that came their way. Throughout the matchup, there were plenty of disputed calls, physical moments, and sequences that sparked debate among fans. San Antonio kept responding with discipline, effort, and execution. Every time a call didn't go someone's way, the Spurs stayed focused on the next possession instead of getting distracted. By the end of Game 7, Oklahoma City appeared frustrated as momentum continued swinging towards San Antonio. The Spurs stuck to their game plan, trusted their depth, and delivered under pressure, ultimately earning their spot as Western Conference champions in dramatic fashion. They were finally forced to win with actual basketball, and that's exactly where San Antonio had the edge. What made this victory even more impressive was how the Spurs refused to let the nonstop physical play and controversial moments throw them off track. A lot of teams would have spent the night arguing with officials, getting frustrated, or losing focus after some of the wild sequences that unfolded earlier in the game. Instead, San Antonio stayed locked in from start to finish. Wemby continued dominating both ends of the floor. Stephon Castle kept putting pressure on the defense. Devin Vassell kept making smart, winning plays. De'Aaron Fox controlled the tempo whenever the game started speeding up. Dylan Harper kept delivering valuable minutes far beyond what most people expect from a young player. Every time Oklahoma City threatened to turn the game into chaos, the Spurs pulled things right back under control and focused on winning possessions. That composure became one of the biggest stories of the entire series. While debates about officiating and physicality continued around nearly every game, San Antonio stayed focused on the fundamentals. They made the series about scoring, defending, rebounding, and execution. In a high-pressure Game 7 environment where emotions can easily take over, that difference ended up being massive. And once again, Victor Wembanyama looked every bit like the future face of the league. While other players were trying to find ways to gain an advantage, Wemby was busy making game-changing plays. He protected the rim, controlled the boards, stretched the floor, and made life extremely difficult for Chet Holmgren throughout the series. The box score tells part of the story, but anyone watching could see the impact Wemby had on nearly every possession. The contrast between the two big men drew plenty of attention. Wembanyama looked confident, aggressive, and completely in control of the moment. Meanwhile, Holmgren struggled to leave his usual mark offensively, especially in Game 7. When a player takes only 2 shots in a winner-take-all game and none after halftime, people are naturally going to talk about that matchup for a long time. That's why this series felt bigger than just a trip to the NBA Finals. For many fans, it highlighted the value of teamwork, depth, discipline, and shot creation under pressure. The Spurs showcased all of those qualities throughout the series. When the final buzzer sounded, San Antonio had earned the Western Conference crown, sent the defending champions home, and secured a showdown with the New York Knicks on the league's biggest stage.